Hey guys, welcome back. It is Friday, and that means that I am back with another ghost glam spooky haunted story for you guys today. Who's excited? You know, one of these days I want to open a video and be like, today's sponsor. One day. So if you are new here, every Friday I tell you guys a ghost, haunted, creepy, unsolved mystery, true crime type of story while I get glam at the same time. So if you are into that sort of vibe, then hit that subscribe button down below, turn on your post notifications, and let's just go ahead and jump right on into today's story, okay? It's weird. We're talking demons, we're talking rituals, we're talking psychotic breaks possibly, I don't really know, but it's a doozy. So we're just going to go ahead and stop talking and then just get into it, like I said. All right, today's story takes place in St. Petersburg, Florida, and it stars a woman named Danielle Harkins. She was a 35-year-old teacher. She was a literacy teacher, so she taught like reading and writing and kind of just like, you know, basic skills, I guess. She taught at the Lealman, I think that's how you say it, an Asian neighborhood family center. She taught there for 5 years. Everyone seemed to like her. She got along really well with the kids. People would say she was really kind. She was like a really calm person. She was really smart. You know, just all good things from a teacher. She was also known to not really be religious, and that's kind of important in this story. That's why I decided to include it. She wasn't like a religious person or anything. Everyone said that she just seemed like a normal person, you know? The only thing that people noticed was that she was going through a pretty rough divorce with her husband and a custody battle with their kids. She had a 4-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son, and the divorce was just ugly. You know, it wasn't going as planned. It wasn't long after her divorce that people started to notice a change in Danielle. She suddenly became like really religious, and not just in like a, oh, I go to church every Sunday type of religion. She was religious in what some would say was a fanatical type of way. Like she was just completely obsessed. And it wasn't like normal religion. She would often talk about like demons and angels, and she just wasn't herself anymore. She just was a totally different person. In June of 2012, one of Danielle's neighbors would recall a time when Danielle came to her door and told the neighbor that she was okay, that she had no demons. Like, she told the neighbor that she didn't have any demons. And the neighbor had no idea what she was talking about. She didn't know where this whole demon thing was coming from. I mean, everyone knew that she was getting into the whole demon and angel thing, but they didn't know that it got this far to this extent. So the neighbor was obviously kind of like, what the hell? You know, that's odd. That's not like her at all. But I mean, she didn't really think too much of it. She just, whatever, have a good day. Talk to you later. Not long after the incident with Danielle's neighbor, in the same month, she gathered some of her students on June 9th, 2012. She gathered a group of them near the St. Petersburg Pier. And this was kind of like late at night, you know, so the kids didn't really know what they were doing there or what was even going on because Danielle, she didn't say anything. She lit a fire and she sat there without saying a word, just waiting for all the kids to arrive. They were all teenagers. They weren't like young kids. I just thought I would throw that out there. It doesn't really matter. But once they all arrived at the little bonfire that she was having, that's when she broke her silence. And the students were all really confused. They had no idea what was going on. This whole bonfire night thing was not a routine in their learnings, I guess. If a teacher invited me out to a bonfire or something, I don't think I would go, honestly. It doesn't seem normal. But for some reason, they all decided to go. I guess they just trusted her that much. But when they got there, they would soon realize that this just wasn't like a nice, fun campfire night. No, it was not. She sat there quietly and just waited for all the kids to come. And of course, this kind of drew suspicion for the students. They were like, what the hell's going on here? Well, she then broke her silence. And can you guess what she said to them? Just guess. Just guess. She told them that they had all been infested with demons and that they all needed to be exorcised of said demons. So what's weird is the kids didn't really seem too fazed by this. They just kind of were like, what the hell? And just ignored it. Because apparently there was chanting and dancing going around this campfire that night. Like they were all in on it and just having a great time. It's very strange. I don't get it. Well, this was just kind of the beginning of the night. Danielle had many other plans to keep this night going and have a good old time. So once the kids were like all loosened up and having a good time, feeling safe, we're partying with the teacher, this is when Danielle finally tells the kids they must inflict self-mutilation to rid themselves of the demons that were in their body. So when she told them this, obviously the kids were like, no thanks, I'm cool, that's a hard pass for me. And because of this, she decided to take matters into her own freaking hands. So she decides, for some odd known reason, I don't freaking know why, but she decides to light a kid's hands on fire. But when she tried to light the lighter, the wind blew it out. So this evil freaking lady drenches this kid's hands in perfume and then proceeds to light him on fire. His freaking hands. And he got second-degree burns from this. Like, this lady was wild. Oh, but it doesn't end there. Nope. So then she goes and she finds like this old broken like wine bottle type of thing. Hang on. Okay, so back to the story. Very basic makeup look today. But anyways, so she goes and she finds this old like broken wine bottle and she takes the freaking piece of broken glass and she slashes it across one of the students' back and neck. And then to stop the bleeding, she had this genius idea to heat up a freaking key and use the key to cauterize the wounds. What? So then she tells the kids that they need to follow in her footsteps and they need to cut themselves and cauterize their wounds the same way that she did to this other student. And her reasoning behind it was to keep the demons from coming back into their freaking bodies. And the kids listened. I think they were maybe like scared of her doing it, so they would rather just inflict the wounds on themselves. But they ended up doing it. Luckily, none of them died or got seriously injured from this. They were injured, but it wasn't like life-threatening injuries, thank God. But what's weird is after this night, none of the students spoke about it. None of them opened up their mouth or anything until one night, one student texted another friend that was there that night and they were talking about it. And that friend decided to go and tell his parents about what happened. Didn't go into exact detail, just kind of described little bits and pieces of what happened that night. So obviously the parents decide that, you know what, we need to call the police. So they go with the police over to Danielle's house, and of course she was arrested. And even though she was arrested and in custody, none of the students from that night really even spoke about it anymore. None of them wanted to talk about it. So the police think that Danielle was like grooming them on what to say and what not to say to the police. But I would think that once she was in custody and once she was arrested, I would spill my guts. You know, I wouldn't care after that point. So while she was arrested, police were trying to get answers out of her, right? They couldn't get answers out of the kids. And then they couldn't get answers out of Danielle either. She was completely vague about what happened. She didn't give them a motive as to why this was happening, what religion she was following, what type of ritual she was performing, or why. Nothing. She gave the police nothing to go off of. So because no one wanted to cough up any details or even testify against Danielle, she didn't really get much punishment for what she did. She was only found guilty of 1 count of child abuse and 1 count of aggravated battery. She obviously lost her job and she only served a 6-month sentence in prison. That was it. She had a $55,000 bail, 6 months in jail. That's all she got. All because nobody wanted to speak up and give details about what happened. That literally pisses me off so bad. After Danielle's release from prison, nobody knows what happened to her. She completely vanished off the face of the earth. Nobody knows anything about her whereabouts, or if they do, they're not talking. The students from that night still haven't spoken a word about it. They won't talk about it. One student claimed that they felt better knowing that she was in custody. But now she's out, so it's like, what is she going to do now? You should have testified, because she could have spent the rest of her life in freaking jail, but no. So some people think that she either had a psychotic break, she was hallucinating, she was on drugs, she went into madness, she had severe depression. Other people think that it was the divorce that caused this like switch to go off in her head. Nobody really knows what exactly happened to her. She just all of a sudden up and changed one day, and there was no explanation for it. But anyways, that is the story of Danielle Harkins. I know this one wasn't like a super long one, but I thought it was still kind of crazy. Like, this teacher just snaps one day, and like, who does that? That's insane. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What do you think happened to her? I would love to hear your guys' opinions. I think she kind of just had a psychotic break after the divorce and the custody battle with her kids. I think it just took a really bad toll on her. Not that that's an excuse or anything, but I think that's just kind of what triggered everything. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on all my socials. All the products that I used today will be linked in the description box down below. And I have nothing else to say except I love you guys, and I will see you in the next haunted story.